The Chicago Bulls made a huge offseason splash with some big changes to their lineup, adding DeMar DeRozan in a trade with the Spurs, while signing Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso to go alongside the midseason acquisition of Nikola Vucevic. They now have a powerful offensive lineup to complement one of the best scorers in the game in Zach Lavine. Considering they haven't been above 500 for 4 straight seasons, whatever happens this year will be a welcome sight. And while Billy Donovan will have his hands full getting all these guys to mesh properly, I have no doubt we'll see some serious highlights, and you can bet I'll have them on League Pass Alert. Let's go through some footage to figure out how all these new parts will fit together. I think we'll see plenty of Lonzo Ball bringing the ball up into some sort of pistol action with a handoff to DeRozan, where he can get towards the middle of the floor for his patented pull-up mid-range jumpers. This same type of action will undoubtedly be run for Zach Lavine as well, where he can stretch the defense out beyond the three-point line for athletic step-backs, or turn the corner, attack the big man who dropped, and finish strong with swooping moves to the front of the rim. And I'd also expect Lonzo to get the outlet pass in transition and find Zach open behind the arc. The Bulls were ranked 14th in transition efficiency, but only 27th in frequency. So expect a lot more running of the Bulls, where Lonzo is at his absolute best setting up his teammates. Of the big three, I think Ball takes the biggest hit in terms of usage rate and box score production. While last year's numbers weren't eye-popping, I think that will be his ceiling this year, with an uptick in assists per game to his rookie year career high. The biggest adjustment for Donovan will be to incorporate the mid-range stylings of DeMar DeRozan, who simply does not shoot three-point shots. I would have thought the pick and roll would not be that effective for him without the threat of the shot, since defenders can go underneath the screen and dare him to shoot it. But his 84th percentile ranking as the pick and roll ball handler proves he can be highly efficient, primarily using the step-up screen in the right wing. If the defender goes under, he'll get to that 17-footer, but there's not much you can do except hope he misses as he continually kills the drop coverage. I was worried these types of step-up screens didn't exist in the Bulls offense, but I was able to find a little bit of this action for Lavine, where the screener's feet would be parallel to the baseline and Lavine would go to work. He's much more of a dribbler after using the screen than DeRozan, but he did take a number of long twos, so expect this part of DeRozan's game to continue to flourish. When looking at the Bulls' offense around Zach Lavine last year, the level of difficulty on so many of his shots was off the charts, and that's certainly going to change with so much added firepower. Both Ball and DeRozan will take a lot of pressure off Lavine and allow him to efficiently shine. And that's the same kind of effect Squarespace will have on your website. It's incredibly easy to set up, and every Squarespace template supports all major content types, from pages to galleries to blogs to commerce to calendars and more. I'm in the middle of setting up my new site, and I cannot wait to bring the conversation there with their powerful commenting features and member areas where you can generate revenue by providing an exclusive experience. Their easy-to-use platform allows you to manage members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights to help you create the kind of content your audience wants. You can even add online booking and scheduling. I'm going to utilize this feature to schedule sessions with players who want to improve their jump shots, so stay tuned. We know how willing Lonzo Ball is to set up teammates with great passes, and DeMar DeRozan has tapped into the ball sharing as well. And it's the same kind of assist Squarespace will give you by clicking on the link below for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch your very own website, you can save 10% off your first purchase on a website or domain. That way, you'll get plenty of eyeballs to your site, just like Lavine gets eyeballs on all his incredible highlights. With all the storylines that were going on last year, you might have missed that Lavine turned in a 50-40-85 shooting season, made more remarkable by the fact that defenses could key in on him for the 43 games before Nikola Vucevic joined the team. Ironically, Lavine shot much better before they upgraded with Vuce, but that should be moot now that they're adding another great passer in Lonzo Ball and a very good one in DeMar DeRozan. You might have slept on the fact that DeMar averaged a career high in assists last year, and they come from his aggressiveness with the ball, absorbing the defense into his gravity and making the simple pass to the open man. However, there is evidence he developed some next-level vision as well, driving strong to the hole, getting up in the air, and then finding skip passes for open shots for teammates. And if this is the new DeRozan, then expect all sorts of easy shots for everyone. This passing gene also exists in Vucevic, who has a knack for attracting the entire defense's focus while he's near the lane and then generating the easiest of shots imaginable with the good vision, touch, and timing on his post passes. The lineups Donovan can throw out there would have at minimum 4 willing passers, all with good vision. So expect a team that ranked 11th in passes per game last year and 7th in assists per game to improve on those rankings. Watch for Vucevic to use the pick and roll primarily to generate his offense, where he can pick and pop to find backdoor cutters for layups, but he can also put the ball on the ground as a driver for scores around the basket. What makes him so dangerous with this team is the spacing he provides as a shooter out of this action. It's not hard to picture tons of ball screens for both Lavine and DeRozan where they drive it, collapse the defense, then kick it out to an open Vucevic from behind the arc for the three-point shot. I feel it's out of this kind of action that we'll see Lonzo get a lot of threes as the target of Vucevic passes once the ball handler hits him on the pop. Billy Donovan did get the defense to rank 12th in defensive rating last year, which is mighty impressive considering he didn't have a ton of defensive stoppers on the roster. This year, he might have even less, although both Lonzo Ball and Patrick Williams are effective on that end, and we did see evidence during the Olympics that Lavine, when not overburdened by being the sole offensive spark plug, can make defensive plays. Add to that Alex Caruso's knack for being in the right place at the right time consistently, and you've got the makings of a solid defensive club. Sprinkle Donovan's defensive system on top of that, and perhaps they sniff the top 10 even. Except for injuries, the biggest key might end up being the role players in orbit around their stars. Alex Caruso earned his reputation as a legit NBA guard alongside LeBron in LA, but how will that translate with this group? I'm certainly curious to see, and I suspect he'll blend in nicely and perhaps produce a little bit more with an expanded role. Patrick Williams also displayed evidence of good energy on the defensive end and aggressiveness to make plays to force turnovers that you don't always see in rookies. They're going to need all of this and more from him, considering Vucevic is just not going to have a huge impact on thwarting the other team's scoring attempts. But their defensive issues won't matter as much if they're lighting the other team up from all over the court, with Lavine getting to the basket at will, DeRozan's elite mid-range game that basically ignores whatever the defense tries to do to stop him, Lonzo's facilitating the whole offense, and him and Lavine bombing away from deep. Expect an elite offensive rating from this group and to make some noise in the Eastern Conference standings. There are at least 3 teams that are better overall than them, but if they can all get on the same page by the end of the year, nobody will want to play the Chicago Bulls in the first round of the NBA playoffs.